Hi guys, and welcome back to the Bonsai YouTube channel. I'm Josh, and today we're going to be talking about this juniper mountain scene, so stick around. Alright, so this tree here has been getting quite a lot of interest of late. That's because I posted a photo of it where I was playing with the smoke machine trying to get the tree to look like it was sitting high up in the mountains within the clouds. You would have seen that photo in the thumbnail of this video, which is likely why you clicked on it. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions, people wanting to see the back of the tree, see how it's wrapped around the rock, wanting to see pictures of the tree as it was developing and all that kind of stuff. So today, I thought I'd do a quick video, and that way anybody who wanted to see more of the tree and have their questions answered, we can do that here. So as you can see, this is just a Juniper squamata. This is usually people's first tree here in Australia. I'm not sure overseas, but I'm pretty sure the green mound juniper in America, it's the same kind of thing, and I'm pretty sure that most people start out with something like this. It's a species of tree that kind of, I don't know, it's underrated. I find them very good to work with, and I think just because these usually are people's first tree, people tend to see them as a beginner tree, so they don't want to work with them. But they're a great species to work with and they make great bonsai. So I've got quite a few of them in my personal collection, as well as Shinpaku juniper. But I love this type of tree and it's very easy to do stuff like this with. And you can do rock plantings with them. They're great for all styles, whether that's informal upright, cascading, semi-cascading, slanting, all those kinds of styles this tree adapts to really well. So, you know, don't be afraid to use these trees just because they're somewhat seen as beginner trees. Okay, so now this particular tree, what I'll do is we'll move on over to the close-up camera and I'll give you a spin of the tree and we can have a look how it's wrapped around the rock. Now, as you'll notice, it comes out of the soil just here. So that is right at the bottom of the rock, and as you can see, it is still in the nursery growing container, and that's because, and I had quite a lot of comments about this saying that the tree would be much nicer if it wasn't in this pot. But you got to understand, this tree is not finished. This tree is very much still in development, and it's a very important stage of bonsai. If we skip the development process, then we don't have a tree that is as nice as what we could have. So it's still in this, it's still in a growing medium, in a development medium. It's not in Akadama or pumice or anything like that. It's just in a regular potting mix. So that's to help us actually thicken the main line of the trunk. And also too, because every branch on this tree is being styled as a tree rather than as a branch, we really need to push thickness into these branches, and I'm just not going to do that if I don't grow it in this. So that is the reason why it's in this pot still. But the rock, some people have asked how far down does the rock go into the soil, and it doesn't go that far. It's literally almost just sitting on the surface. It goes down just a little bit, but it's pretty much just sitting on the surface of the soil, and you'll know why that is later. Okay, so the trunk comes out here just in front of the rock. And then as we spin around, if we come in on the close-up cam here, you can see the first tree here where it kind of emerges off the main trunk line here. And that's our first little informal upright tree. So if we come back around to the front, the main camera, you can see our little informal upright tree here that comes off the side of the mountain. So that comes around and that's the back of that. And then as we move up through here, there isn't really much. I do keep a little bit of growth on here just to keep the energy and movement up through here. And this will also thicken this area up a little bit too, and it'll clasp to the rock a little bit better. But as you can see, there's really not much happening there. But as we come around, we've got this little branch here that shoots off into the rock. The main line runs up through here, but we've got this little branch just here. Now what that is that's actually these two little trees here up on the front of the rock. And that little branch comes running up through here, up through the rock itself, and we got one little tree here on the face and another little tree just here. So that's what that is. But this main line continues up around the rock, and then it comes around the front into this here. This twists around and it junctions off. So where it junctions off, we have our cascade tree, so we'll have to come back to the main camera. So we have our cascade little tree just here. So I've tried to get a few different styles. So we've got our informal upright and we've got our little cascade over here, which is still developing. I need to wire out the bottom part of this cascade again. And you know, it's got a little apex up here and some little branches on the way down. But as I said, it's still in development, it's still very young. It's got quite a few years to go, this tree. But from here, as I said, it junctions off and then it runs up into the top. So if we come back to the main cam again, then we've got a tree on this side, and you can see the top of the rock poking up through here. So we've got a little tree here and then another little tree here. Now these two need a fair bit of work up here because they've just overgrown. But at this point, I'm just pulling the energy through the tree with all this foliage. And once we get closer to actually moving this thing into refinement, then I can trim these down a bit and give them a little bit more style, a little bit more of that pad look that we're used to with junipers. So what's the next step for this tree? The next step is I'm actually looking to have a custom pot made for it, because as you can imagine, this tree is not going to suit any style of just regular bonsai pot. And what I actually have in mind for it is somewhat of a landscape pot, and I have already spoken to a custom pot maker about this, and he has some ideas about what we can do. But we're thinking about doing a pot that kind of slants down like this, down to the ground, and then we can, whether we're going to plant moss or whatever it may be, we still haven't decided. The details are very sketchy yet. It might even just be a big rock that comes all the way up to here and then matches this rock that is in the tree and continues on. But the whole point of the pot coming down like this is to replicate the side of a mountain, and then this tree is up on top of the mountain. And then we're pretty much going to have the pot of the tree is going to be moulded off one of these pots, so I can just slip pot it straight in. But once I slip pot it in, I actually will do some root work and replace it with Akadama and pumice. That way I can start doing some refinement work on the tree. But that's not going to be until maybe spring this year. I'll see how happy I am with the thickness of the tree come spring. If I'm happy with where everything is at and how it's developed, I'll move it on. If not, it'll stay in this for another year while we continue to develop it on. But besides that, if you want to know about the rock, it is just made of concrete. This is actually made out of a mould, so some people I know make these rocks. And then they leave them out for 2 years just to let everything seep out of them and to get some patina and age on them, so it doesn't just look like a slab of concrete in there. But they are actually very nice rocks, and as you can see, it's worked fantastically for this little juniper. But that's it for today. If you do have any questions about this particular tree, leave them in the comments below and I'll try and get back to you. I might actually put some photos of this tree up while it was developing over on the Bonsai and Premium blog. So if you'd like to sign up for that, it's only $5 a month and you get a whole bunch of stuff that other people don't get here on the YouTube channel. You get educational articles, so I'll leave a link to the description. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. Get my words all mixed up there. And also I'll leave a link so you can get your very own merchandise like I'm wearing here. Every sale of that merchandise actually supports this channel and helps us grow. So we really do appreciate your guys' support. But until next time, enjoy your bonsai journey.